shelter from the storm. You keep me safe inside your wings. You are my comfort when life gets hard. You lead me to water to drink. Your gentle hand, even when I can't understand, I know your voice. I'm not afraid, walking with me at the same pace.
Hello, everyone. Dave Robinson here. Thank you so much for joining in with me to celebrate my son's birthday, January 14th. My son is 29 years old, Geologist Daniel Robinson, who went missing out in the Sonoran Desert on June the 23rd of 2021. I'm here to celebrate. I have been celebrating all day. I want to start this off with something from a wise monk that says today would be my peaceful day, and I was saying today is my peaceful day. I've been utilizing that all day. It's hard. It's a hard time of the year. Just celebrating. I was hoping to have my son back, but I'm really happy to see you all joining in with me. It brings so much joy to my heart to know that you're here. So I want to first off start off with saying thank you so much for joining in with me. You didn't have to take the time out to do this, but I really appreciate you doing this. I will put everybody on the chat that's in the chats on the screen. Again, just thank you so much for being here. My goal is to talk a little bit about Daniel, some of the things that is memorable for me and my family, memorable for me, his father, and also to tell you ways that you can ways you can help me continue my efforts to find Daniel. And also to let you know that I will have one guest that should be coming on. It's also tonight. It's open to any family member who want to join in and share their missing loved one story. What I would like to see is, try to find something that you remember about your loved one that is the best memory that you can have right now, and then share that with us. So that's one of the goals that I'm looking for. And also, if you come on, you can share information about how we can help you find your missing loved one. So again, I will start off with talk about Daniel. I will do a prayer, and also I will bring on my guest. And from that point, we will have a discussion. Hopefully, I have some family members that may show. If not, we're definitely going to open the floor to everyone. So what I would end up doing is putting a link for anyone who want to come up and give some encouraging words, who want to say something, want to come on the screen. I would invite you on. So I want to start off again with the prayer, and then I always talk about Daniel. Heavenly Father, I thank you, Lord, for this light of this day, this moment, Daniel's birthday. He's 29 years old. Lord, we don't know where he's at right now, but we know that you can bless. Right now, we're celebrating his life. We thank you, Heavenly Father, for this goodness and mercy for those people who came here tonight to help me celebrate Daniel's birthday, and the family members who will be joining with me to talk about their loved ones, to share their loved one stories, to have the memories of their loved one. We actually, Heavenly Father, to bless their heart, their mind, and their soul, give them comfort. I know it's not easy. It's not easy for me and my family. I really appreciate you for all that you have done. Thank the people. Thank you for the people who joining us tonight, who lending their heart and their minds and their love and their support towards me and my family, and to every family who have a missing loved one. I thank you and I trust you, God. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. So thank you, guys. I really appreciate it for joining in with me again. Like I said, I was looking at the numbers coming in. I truly appreciate you all stopping off this evening to join in with me. I would say really quickly about Daniel. I'm going to give a little bit things here and there. Some of the things you heard before would start off there and then started adding a little bit more as the night goes. But yes, Daniel, my youngest son, as you can see on the pictures on the backdrop here, enjoys having fun with his friends, enjoy life, full of spirit. Just from the things of enjoying music to uh, just getting out and hanging out with his friends. Like I say, outdoorsy type person, and family oriented. If I can move a little bit, you see some pictures of him and his mother, obviously up on the screen here, right here. His siblings, just the point of him graduating from college, doing something that he really wanted to do. So some of the memorable moments for me is also the time I was able to spend. I had a boat at one point. We would go out on the lake and had spent some time out on the lake and go fishing and things like that. That's some of the biggest parts that I miss about my son, having those conversations, giving us the opportunity to share those moments. So I'm looking for an opportunity to do this again. But I want to say happy birthday to my son, his 29th birthday, and thank you all for joining in. But to continue tonight, I want to make this really quick and bring on my guest. I have a guest that will be joining us. Her name is Miss Hazel. She'll be sharing her missing loved one story. Also, I will be sharing some other family member story that's not on tonight, that will not be able to come tonight. So please, everyone, you know how I am about all missing American cases. I definitely want to make sure I'm doing my part as a father, as a community member, as a person in this country, to do everything I can to bring awareness for other families too. It's not all about my family. Even though it's Dane's birthday, we're just a person that like to share everything. So any moment, anytime, even though this platform is not huge, I definitely want to take the little that I have and try to make it a lot to help other families. So without further ado, I want to bring on my first guest, Ms. Hazel. She will be coming on to talk about her missing loved one, to share his story. When I say share a story, she wants to talk about some of the things that that's most memorable for her, and then also she's going to share with some of the ways that we can help bring him home. So thank you so much, and I'll bring it on right now. So thank you so much for being here, Miss Hazel. I truly appreciate you for joining in. Let's see if I can get you on the screen. I apologize. It didn't get on there. There we go. All
There.
right.
Now you
There we
can
go. I
hear
think we're getting it
me.
now.
Thank you for
How you
having
doing?
me,
How you doing
David.
this
Thank
evening?
you.
Thank you. I really appreciate you being here this evening.
It's like I'm doing okay, but I don't know, this year, 4 years, it's even harder.
Yes, yeah,
Harder. And we met with the detective, a new one. Every year it's like a new detective. We met with the new detectives last week, and they really weren't up to snuff on the case. And we had to fill them in again with stuff. And it just seemed like, well, it's been a long time. They don't offer much of anything. And it was like they went gusto on it the first month or so, and then everything dwindled down. Yeah.
right,
If it,
right,
if it
yes,
wasn't for the community out there that's been established for missing persons, it really wouldn't be anything right now.
that's right, that's right, and that's one thing we have here is to have the platforms, and all of us are family now. So we have opportunity to share each other's stories and utilize the little that we have to boost the other stories as well. So yes, us we stand together, we can help get some things done. So I really appreciate you being here. And I want to make sure I'm saying his name correctly.
It's it's
Veldic,
Vladic
Vladic, Vladic.
with a
Okay,
V,
Vladic.
Vladic
Right.
Hassel, and it's
Yes.
hassle like trouble.
That's right.
But he really wasn't much trouble at all.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yes. So, can you tell us a little bit about him?
Yeah, first I want to say this is the first time I've ever done this. Bethany is the talk person for our
Okay.
family. And I just kind of surrendered that because she's done it so well, or even grown into the position and gone all over the nation with it. So when I saw this today, I thought I should challenge myself and step up and do something. So I'm gonna, fumble a bit, but guide
Oh
me.
no,
If
you're
I
doing
get
good.
if
You're
I
doing
get
well.
quiet, ask me something to get me talking again. Yeah,
That's right.
that's his flyer there. So, oh, I guess to start from the missing part, it was 4 years ago, this past November, that Vladik said he'd go on a trip with us. His dad and I were taking a trip, and he'd gone on the trip and enjoyed it with us the year before. And he just said, he kind of shrugged his shoulders, said, "No, I'm staying home." And we didn't think anything of it. We just thought he's 22 years old. If he wants to stay home, we'll let him stay home. And 23. I lose track of the numbers.
Yes, yes.
But
They
so we
go.
went off, and 10 days later when we came back, we never saw him again. He wasn't
Hmm.
there. He wasn't a guy to like a lot of stuff. So in his room was his phone, computer, um the little bit of clothes he did, like probably what he had on his back was all he left with.
Oh,
And
wow.
so there wasn't much to go on. I mean, the police took his phone, and we thought they were examining it, but it seems like they didn't really examine it, because it came back, and we have unanswered questions about the phone. Just we don't know. But it's just very frustrating because so many things we try to supply to them, and you get so little back. But there again, there hasn't been any new leads for them to go by. So
Right.
talking about Vladik, I found out about Vladik when it was December of 2003. And I heard that he and his sister were in an orphanage in Russia. And they were in dire straits for a family because his parents had abandoned both of them. And
Hmm.
something was hit our hearts to, these they were supposed to be ours, become part of our family. So my husband did a lot of the work that it takes to compile a portfolio and all the documents that Russia asks for. And so when you get there, you've got like a dossier that's maybe 3 inches thick of things that they required for you to adopt children. And uh, we were just led, and the doors opened and opened and opened, and it just happened. Irina, his sister, had come and stayed with us for 10 days in December. And then when we found out she had a brother, of course, we weren't going to leave her brother behind. So we adopted both of them, and we brought them back September of 2004. They were in our home. And then he was like growing up like a um, ambitious, curious little boy, into everything, up the trees, and lost in the neighborhood, out on his bike. Where is he? You don't know, but he was just an explorer and loved adventures. And we were just happy, so happy to have him. At 5 years old, and Irina was 12 at the time. And it was rough because we didn't speak the same language. But in our community, we had a woman and her husband. She happened to come from Russia. So we gather at her kitchen table. And if we really got to a place that we didn't understand one another, we'd sit there, and she'd listen to what they had to say. And then we'd tell her what we wanted to say. So it really was, it was placed there by God that we had somebody to help us make those um, difficult times a little less difficult, because we had no idea except that his parents had just left them for probably alcohol, but they
Wow.
didn't give us any specifics. We didn't know. So
Wow.
Vladik just continued to grow and become mischievous, um and he has let's see, I think 6 sisters and one brother, all older than him. And Irina loves him dearly. It's really taken a, a toll on her. She searched us out. It's almost like she put her stamp of approval on us and allowed us to bring her and her brother over because she was looking for a family for the two of them.
Yeah.
Oh, oh,
Yes.
so and really, the rest of the family, like I had two daughters that were going to be in the home at the same time that Irina and Vladek were. So we took them to Russia so they could see the orphanage and where the kids were coming from, why we had a heart to bring them back and bring them into our family. And the older ones, they'd come and visit, and they'd wrap their arms around Vlad, that his older brother would toss him in the air and stuff like that. So everything just seemed to gel and come together. And the two of them loved having a family. So the years went on. Unfortunately, my husband and I, we were having our difficulties, and we separated. And Vladek lived with me for a while, then lived with his dad for a while. And we were still getting along, but it just was division at that time. And
Right.
Vladek always had this dream. He wanted to be a Marine. He was so focused on being a Marine. He was a very hard worker. And, we thought if he put his mind to it, he could do whatever he wanted to do. Well, in 2018, school was a struggle. And we think it might have been some alcoholism effect from his parents, that he
Hmm.
just couldn't stay focused and grasp concepts and keep them in his mind. But he finally finished his schooling and he went off and got accepted to Marines, and he did all the criteria for the crucible, and we were out there to see his graduation in December of 2018. Four of his sisters and myself and Steve, his dad, and we were so proud of him. We just couldn't, he did it. And
Yeah.
he seemed to be beaming and happy, but it seemed like that they gave him an assignment that he didn't feel good about, like it didn't fit in it. He wanted to touch things. He was always hands-on learning, and they wanted to sit him behind a computer. He never really sat behind a computer. That wasn't his thing. It was outdoors and
That's me too.
everything. So it didn't fit. And I didn't know about everything. They keep everything pretty private there with the Marines, but somehow he was conveyed to them that he wasn't a fit, and he got an honorable discharge and
Oh,
lived with his
wonderful.
sister. Say again.
I say that's wonderful. Honorable
Yeah,
discharge. That's, yes.
he did. So once a Marine, always a Marine. He's a Marine. He just didn't serve, active service, but he's a Marine, and I can't imagine what he went through to become a Marine, you know. So when he got out, he went and lived with his older sister and worked in a hospital during the COVID times. He was doing the housekeeping. So it was rather stressful on him. All the stuff, that the networks and media would tell you how bad the germ was, and it was very stressful. They moved from Michigan to New Hampshire, and he stayed there a little while. Then he had a rift with his sister and came back to Florida and stayed, took residence with his dad and stepmom. And there, again, they tried everything to find a place that he could work, especially Steve took him all different places, and he just couldn't stick with something. He just, I don't know what happened with the Marines, but he could hold a job before the Marines, and then when he came home, he couldn't.
Hmm.
But we didn't give up. We just kept trying and encouraging him. And so the situation got tense in his father's home with the stepmom, and she was not being real easy to get along with. And so Steve decided that for Vlad's mental state, it was best to take him. And they traveled. They traveled for, gosh, a good 8 months, 9 months, and they went to and saw historical sites around the country, and they saw family members of Steve's brother and sisters and aunts and uncles and things. So it was really a good time, a good bonding time, even more. They were already bonded, but even got them closer. And when
Yeah.
Steve came back with him, that would have been in the probably September of 2020, they established themselves in an apartment complex, the um, on Alafaya. It's called The Place. At the time, it was called The Place. And in Steve's mind, it was there near the University of Central Florida, where Vladik would be in the atmosphere of young people. And also, there was a basketball court right next to their apartment, and Vladik loved to play basketball. So he thought he was putting him in the ideal situation to plant friendships and where else it might branch off. Well, Vladik, he loved to walk and explore. He walked the area. Steve had a car, but Vladik didn't have a car. He didn't want really a car, and he did have his license, and he would drive with his dad for a while, but most of the time he walked. And on his
Uh,
walks, he saw the homeless community, and he formed friendships with homeless people. I mean, genuine friendships. We weren't really aware of them until we went searching for him. And then when we showed a person Vladik's picture, they were like dumbfounded. What?
oh
He's
wow.
our friend. What happened to our friend? And they were without an answer for us. So um, there's only a couple individuals from the homeless community that we questioned because they were what we would term harassing him. He had a flip phone and he suddenly got rid of that. He didn't want anything to do with it. And here it was that these people were like contacting him, like 60 phone calls. Vladek's not a phone person,
Right.
except for emergencies. So we just don't know what they were up to. They have been questioned a couple times for their different things they get involved with the law, but they aren't giving an answer that alarms any of the sheriffs, that they are really involved with the Vladek's disappearance.
Yeah.
So all we have then, when we reported him missing, the 15th of November 2021, they did uh, posse searches with horseback, dogs, helicopter. They went door to door, every apartment building. Uh, uh, um, there was, because it's scattered. I think there might be 10 different buildings in there, and it's surrounded by ponds, very wetland around the area.
Mm.
So they did all that, and there was nothing. And it wasn't until February, when we were meeting with somebody, or at least the first meeting I went to, they said, well, we did have Vladek um, on film where we had to stop him at the, what do you call it, Foxtail Coffee, where
Mhm.
he had gone in there on the morning of November the 6th. Now, we had left the night of the 5th. So that morning he walked to Foxtail, and he had this knife that he had purchased like a few days before, and he had told his dad he just needed it for protection, which is unusual for him. Like, why would he even say that? But his dad didn't put anything to it because Vladek wasn't that kind of person to go charging after anybody. It's just like, oh, and he liked things like lighters. I know one time I was with him, he wanted a lighter that flipped and he kept playing with it. So he liked handsy, touchable things like that. Well, he didn't think anything of it in my mind. And he went in there and in fact, I think it was Friday night. He sat the knife down on a table and went off to get his coffee. He'd been going there for a year since he moved in. Like, that was his place to go. And somebody there complained after he left that this young man was there and this is what he did, and they didn't feel comfortable about it.
Oh wow.
So they contacted the sheriff's department. And when he showed up Saturday morning, that's when they called the sheriff and they said they don't want him to be there anymore because they don't want their customers uncomfortable, that regardless of what he thought about it, it's too late. What's happened has happened. And Vladek is seen on film, but we didn't know about that film until February. He disappeared in November, and they told us about the film, and I don't think we saw the film until this summer. And in the film, you see his last walk off from the sheriff, like in front of a few businesses where we could have captured his video from
Right.
those places of business. And like, they didn't even think about it. They had to know that he had been stopped the Saturday morning of the 6th. And yeah, so we lost all of that, all those possibilities, you know.
I think I had one question on one of the viewers was asking. I think on the flyer didn't say how old is Mr. Hazel. Um,
Hassle, trouble,
Helpful.
trouble.
Yes. 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 His age at the time he went missing.
So he was it was like days before his birthday. His birthday is in December 20th. So the month
Okay.
before, he was 22 and he turned 23 in December of
Okay.
2021. So now he's 27. We just celebrated his birthday in December.
Uh-huh. Yes. Yeah. And that's a rough time.
Very
No,
rough.
yeah, it's a rough time when you have to celebrate without your loved one. So yeah, I definitely understand what you're going through right now. And so with everything you're giving us, is there? I see the content information. We have the sheriff department information on the flyer. There's any other thing like some of the social media, some ways that families can, or those who are listening can help you in your efforts to find your
I think
brain.
on that flyer in the square there, a rectangle below his picture, it
Uh huh.
says like those are all the ways: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, that you can get in touch with them at Find Vlada Castle. And those QR codes, they tell everything that I pretty much said, maybe in more detail or less. I'm not really sure, but yeah.
Okay, okay. I hope everybody can see that pretty good there. But yes, definitely, we'll do everything we can to help. This is one of the ways we do it is to have
Yeah.
you on, and we can talk about it. This is not our last. We're like I said, we're part of a family, so we definitely will continue to talk about. I keep saying the name wrong, Hessel.
That's all
Was
right.
that-
Mhm.
Yes,
I
his
just,
story. So
unless you're walking in shoes like this, like you and I, nobody can understand the grief. And it
yeah,
comes, you just don't even know when it's going to hit you and be so bad that you can't do anything. Like I was working as a nurse when I discovered that he went missing on a pretty intense floor. So it was really hard, night shift doing that, couldn't sleep during the day. And now as it's gone on, I have retired and I can't even um get myself up to get ready to do another job. I can't even think of how I can be prepared every day because this grief is such a heavy burden. You
yes.
just it's awful.
It is. It is. Yes. And one thing I can say, over the years, like I said, it doesn't get any easier because we just don't have those answers. Especially you just wondering every year, wondering in your mind what's going on. But what I try to do today is also try to think about some of those great moments that you have and try to hold on to those memories because one of the things I have found, and I'm sure you feel the same way, is that sometimes it's harder to even remember their voice. And that's one of the things I'm afraid of is not remembering my son's voice. So
Do
I
you
have
have
to
a
listen to old
recording of
videos.
it?
Yes, yes, old videos
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
voicemails and things like that. So you keep
I
those.
am so blessed. Like just before he came out of the Marines, he called me. And at the time, I was a acute dialysis nurse, which means I'm one on one with people's lives, their blood out and in and out and in. Well, the phone rang and it was Vladik, and I never get a call. And I know it's not really right to answer, but I felt really comfortable with this patient and I answered the phone. And throughout that short conversation, he said, Mom, I don't think I ever told you how much it means to me that you and Dad came to Russia and brought both Irina and I here and made us a part of your family. I can never thank you enough, Mom. And I was like, it's you just knew it was always there, but it was never said like that, and I was so glad I answered that call. And then 2 months before he went missing, we wanted him to go to a baseball game with us. And I didn't catch the phone. It went to message. And he said things like, Mom, I think you and Dad are going to have a great time, and I'm going to do something else. You go have a good time. I love you, Mom. So I have that. Yeah.
That's it. You have to hold on to that. That's
Yeah.
exactly what you hold on to. It
Yeah.
always make it feel a lot better. But definitely keeping prayers is one of the big things for me. I'm a praying person, so staying busy, not giving up, and just try to make sure we're doing everything we can for our missing loved ones. So
Yeah,
I
and we're
carry on.
praying for Daniel too. Yes, and
Oh yes,
so
yes, yes,
many others that I see and Bethany makes me aware of. It's just I've gone to a couple of the nationwide, like in Denver, conference there with Bethany, and it's just it's overwhelming how many people are traveling this, but also it's um, your heart gets so they come up and they hug you. Everybody hugs you. They care about you. Even when I share Vladik's card, I go everywhere I go. I have a card, and I kind of get a feeling like, am I making a little bit of a connection? First, I ask about like a waiter or waitress. Who are you? You work here? You like it? Kids and all that. And then by the end of the time I've been with them, I said, could I share? This is my son. And when I share,
right,
and then
right.
they just embrace me. Oh, it's so heartwarming about people that are out there that you don't even know, that are strangers, receiving you like that. It's
That's right.
blessed.
That's right. Always that blessing. And I'd like the community, those who are here this evening, is always blesses my heart. I look at the comment section and people giving the love and the happy birthdays and the support. That always helps. Always helps. So we definitely need that as family members. I just want to do one thing before you get off here. I want to share a few more family stories. If you want to stay in on with me, I want to get on and share some of the stories of family members who have missing loved ones right now, and then we'll continue to talk. If you can hold on with me just for one
Sure.
moment. Yes. All right. I would like to put this on the screen here. And everyone, thank you so much for being here. And uh, I think I have the right one up. I apologize. There we go. All right. All right. So if I can get this a fuller screen, I just want to see if I can make it like bigger, even for myself, because I'm having a hard time seeing it myself. But you can see it pretty good there, everyone. If you can, please give me a thumbs up. Let's see if I can get some thumbs ups. Okay. All right, there we go. I see some thumbs up. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, everyone. One thing is, I want to make sure I can put this up really high here so everyone can see. I definitely need to see myself. I'm having a little difficulty. I apologize, everyone. Okay, I have Delia Albert. She's missing, and from Columbia, South Carolina. Everybody have any information about this child? Please, 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 please call the Richland County Sheriff's Office right here in Columbia, South Carolina. If you just know this young lady, we want to bring our child home. Also, we have Jacqueline Perez. If you anyone have information about her, please share her story as well. We want to bring our children home. She's missing out of Virginia. If you recognize her face, you've seen her somewhere, please take this information and definitely help us find her and bring her home. We also have Zelic Williams. I know the Williams family personally. He went missing also out of Columbia, South Carolina here. If you have any information, you can reach out to the Black and Missing Foundation as well as the Richland County Sheriff's Office and see the phone number there. We need to bring Mr. Williams home. He's been gone too long. So if everyone can remember and take down this information, let's bring Mr. Williams home. And everybody, forgive my voice. I'm losing my voice already. Aaliyah Bell. If you have any information about Aaliyah Bell, she's missing out of Rock Hill, South Carolina. Please remember this information. She's been missing since 2014. We want to bring her home to her family. We don't want to see our family members out there without help. So please, please take this information if you can, and let's bring her home. Also, we have Miss Amber Crane. If you have information about her disappearance, please call the Lancaster. She's missing out of Lancaster, South Carolina. So please call the missing and exploited children, as well as I believe the Lancaster's Sheriff Office. I want to make sure I have that correctly, but you see the information here. You can reach out and you remember her story, and please share it. Share it as much as you can. And I can tell you, everyone, you can find these stories on these websites. We also have Rochelle Martin. I can say the name correct. Perez Marin. If you have information about her location, please reach out to the Richland County Sheriff's Office. I see it say Columbia, South Carolina, and I would say the Richland County Sheriff's Office. If you know her face, you've seen her whereabouts, please help. Also, we have Michaela Martin, missing out of Richland County. That's Columbia, South Carolina as well. Richland County Sheriff's Department, if you have any information, you also can reach out to the Black and Missing Foundation, who will help bring her home. She is now 18 years of age. Also, we have Nikisha Cordes, and she's missing also out of Charleston, South Carolina. And if you have any information, please reach out to the North Charleston Police Department. And also you can reach out to the Black and Missing Foundation. Also, we have here, that's Miss Dion Thomas. And if you have information about her whereabouts right out of Columbia, South Carolina as well, you can reach out to the Richland County Sheriff's Office. please, if you have any information, you see the information here, please share it. Someone knows something. So thank you so much. And we have uh, Arena Bryant. If I say the name correctly, I apologize. I didn't. I'm missing out of Bowman, South Carolina. If you have any information about Miss Bryant, we want to bring her home. She's 18 years of age, and we need to get her home safely with her family. Reach out to the Orangeburg County Sheriff's Office, or you can reach out to the Black and Missing Foundation as well. So also we have Kavon Benjamin and Kavion Benjamin. He's missing out of Timmonsville, South Carolina. If you have any information about Mr. Benjamin, we want to bring this child. I believe he's let's see the age, but we want to bring him home. I believe he's 15 years of age, if I'm looking at that correctly. He's a child. Want to make sure we are bringing him home. We called the Florence County Sheriff's Office, or you can call the Black and Missing Foundation. Reach out to the Black and Missing Foundation. So thank you, everyone, for listening in on the information as well. I want to bring in, I had a guest on just a while ago, and I want to bring in one of my friends, really close friend, a friend of mine in my family. She's also part of the A team that I speak about before. I want to bring her on the screen, and if everybody can help help me bring her on. In other words, celebrate, because this is a celebratory moment. I just want to keep it that way. But I want to say thank you for everyone who's already here. But I want to bring in my guest also, Barry, and thanks so much for being here.
You're welcome. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you so much.
I'm
How are
happy to
you
be
doing this
here.
evening? Yes, thank you. And I
I'm
want to say,
well.
please forgive my voice. I'm losing my voice already. I don't know why, but please hang in there with me. Thanks so much for being here. I truly appreciate you joining in with me. You know that you already know that means so much to me to be a part of the celebration. Today is Daniel's birthday. The way I like to celebrate it is like have those moments to myself at the earlier part of the day, like I was telling you, and the team. But I also to share. You know, our family do not do anything without sharing. You probably can tell from the years of Daniel going missing. But thank you so much for being here.
It's an honor to be here, David, to support you and support all the other families that I know you're working hard to support in the middle of the struggle to find Daniel. And I'm happy to be here, and I'm going to support, and I'm going to continue to support. This is going to be a lifelong thing for me to help support you and to support other families.
I truly appreciate it. You have done that, and I truly appreciate it. I am trying to go forward with some other things, you know, when it comes to helping families. So we definitely want to keep things like this going. We have Miss Hazel here, Hassel, that's it correctly, here, and sharing her son's story is very important for all of us to be together in this unity, because we all need it, you know, especially when we don't have those answers. You know, not having those answers is one of the biggest problems, you know, for us. You know, you're on a roller coaster all the time. You know, sometimes you say, hey, look, there may not be hope. And then other times you say there are hope, and you just can't give up. You know, some people have their times where they say, hey, you know what, this is the time to maybe kind of back up a little bit, but then other times, no, we cannot. So we definitely need each other, and we need people like you, Barry, who else out here to support. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Of course, you're welcome. Many blessings. Happy birthday, Daniel, and just all support for everybody. It's a very difficult experience, one that I
Yes,
can only imagine through being there to support others. But I recognize that it could be my son or my daughter or anyone in my family. It can happen just like that, and that's the reality of this experience. So yeah.
that's right. That's right. And also, again, I want to thank everyone in the chats who have, and I know some of you I can't show you on the screen here. That's on the Instagram side, but I do see you. I do see you, and I really thank you for being here. All those on Facebook, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. I truly appreciate you being here as well. I put some some of you on the screen. I see Miss Erin Chase. She's speaking out. She's reaching out to you, Barry. But she's been a long time supporter. Has been with us for day one. She's been doing a lot of things in the background for me, so I really appreciate you, Erin, for being here tonight. That means a lot to me as well. To my family, I may have my daughter come on, so everybody look out for that. Miss Green Perez, thanks Perez, if I said it correct. Thank you so much for being here, Mary Allen. I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much. We have here Deborah. Thank you so much for being here as well. I appreciate the birthday wishes. We have Janae. Thank you so much for being here. You said thank you so much thank you for sharing all of them. Thank you so much for being here. So Susan, thank you so much for your prayers. Jay, thank you so much for your prayers. And here you go, Barry. Thanks so much for the birthday wishes for Daniel. He would love this. I'm telling everyone, Daniel would love it right now to see this. See the support of people who really care. So that really means a lot. So thank you again. Thank you, my Crimmy. How I say that? Crimani. If I say that, I'm always chopping things up, so everybody forgive me on that. But thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate Aura. Thank you so much for being here. And let's see, who was the SB Cat Rescuer. Thanks so much for being here. Also, let's see if I have anyone else that I didn't name. I believe I've named you, but thanks so much again, Mary Ellen, for being here. I really appreciate you. And let's see here. Lucia, thanks so much for being here. Lakeisha, thanks so much for being here. And I definitely know who you are. Thanks so much for being here. And all the many times you've handed out many flyers out there in the city with me. So thanks so much. And your constant support. Let's see here. And if I miss anybody, I apologize. Monty Sabrina, thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you. I love you. Happy birthday to my great nephew. We will never forget you. You are embedded in our hearts. God is never late, and He never is. You're right. And what we're going to do is we definitely going to believe and have faith. And I already know, until you're a prayer warrior, we have belief and we have faith that we're going to bring both our loved ones home. We're going to bring Mr. Household home, as well as Daniel. And we want to make sure that we doing everything we can when it comes to praying and having our faith, and our faith by our words. We're going to do everything we can to bring our missing loved one home. So thank you, everybody, again. I'll try to see if anyone else want to come on. So what I want to do is I'm going to put in an invite. If anybody want to join in to give a comment, I want to talk to Ms. Hessel, as well as myself, Barry, and you can join in on the screen. On a few people, I don't get not too many people, but if you can, I truly appreciate it. You want to come on the screen just to, give words of encouragement. Want to say happy birthday, anything you want to say, you see it right there in the chat. So if you want to utilize that, you can right now. I'm opening the floor up to everyone. In the meantime, Ms. Hessel, if you want to continue where we left off, if you can.
Like I said, this is the first time I've done this. I'm surprised I talked as long as I did.
You did very well. You're doing very
tripping
well.
over my words.
Well. Thank you.
So it was one of those nights last night. I didn't sleep at all. And they hit me. Sometimes I just think and think and think, and I don't sleep.
Right. And that's it. Yeah, it can. I have those moments as well. I think even coming up to this event, for instance, it was hard. Early today, I had to to sit down and kind of reflect on a lot of things as well as celebrate. And one thing that helped me out, I just so happened to, I know you hear about the monks that was going across from Texas all the way up to, they're traveling all the way up to Washington, D.C. I had an opportunity to walk 2 miles with them, and just to hear what they have to say. Today would be a peaceful day for me, and that helps out. So sometimes you have to encourage yourself, because if you don't, you
Yeah.
will get those moments that's really, really tough. So a lot of people don't really understand that. I could be smiling on the screen, I could be seeming very happy in public, but moments like this are very tough. So I feel for
Right.
you. I know
Right.
exactly what you're going through.
So last year on Vladik's birthday, um, Bethany decided, let's do something. So we got together with Gabby Petito's mom and sisters, and we painted ceramics. And so it was really nice. We just talked about our kids and we laughed and had fun and took us off of, what that meant that, he wasn't there for his birthday. And we did that again this year. We didn't have Nikki there with us this year, or the girls, but they sent their kindness and regards to us. And we painted some more ceramics and we talked some more. And Bethany got us an Airbnb so that the whole family that was nearby could stay together and we could just continue, like you said, sharing.
Yes, yes, yes. That's it. Um, and that's the part right there, especially when you have the support. That is the key to everything. Just having people. I have Barry. She just showed up and she's part of the team, but she's always there. From the time I met her, for instance, her and the team, they're always there. They help me out there in the searches to the city, some of the events we went to, also. Just the foundation. I mean, you just name it. Every day I hear from my team. Every day we tell each other hello every morning. So those things are very important. We have the support. So yes, I agree. I agree.
Yes.
Yeah. So any more memorable moments?
Let me think. This is one about climbing up the tree, and one of the first times he was, probably the first month he was with us. I was inside making dinner, and I didn't know where Vladik was. I never do, because I mean, I think he's around the house, but I didn't know. So I went outside, hollering his name, and next thing I hear, "What, mom?" And he's 30 foot up in a sycamore tree. I mean, one of those that don't have a lot of sturdiness at the top. And I could see it just rolling this way and that way. I said, uh, just a minute. I'll go get your dad. Because I wasn't ready to catch him if he fell. So yeah, those are the things. He was just constantly just having fun, jumping
Yes.
on the trampoline that we had in the backyard. And I remember he was so terrified to learn how to swim, but once he accomplished that, there was no stopping him, no holding him back. Just those childhood memories of any of our children, it goes by so fast. So
Yes.
fast.
Yes. Very much so. And that's some of the things I keep remembering also is about Daniel. Like you saying, he has a very adventurous spirit. Just want to be out and doing things. That's very, very memorable. One of the things is I say this often. I say it many other times on many lives. Just seeing Daniel hanging out with his friends, just like the pictures, like I was saying behind me. He always find ways to go do something. Go do something. Rather, I remember at one point, really shocking to me. I have some pictures. I'm going to probably put that in public eventually. But he was doing some, well, I won't say the word I want to use, but he was actually working for the community, doing some community work. But he was out on the side of the highway, picking up trash and things like that. And but he always got to make that moment, some silly moment, doing
Yeah.
something silly while he's doing that. So those are kind of things that I remember about Daniel. When it comes to his personality, he's always going to make fun out of everything. So with his friends, that's why you see this right here. I think this picture here, if I can orient my hand right, how they're grabbing around his neck. Man,
Hmm.
he's always doing something silly. I promise you. He's always going to do something. He have a way of making people laugh for no reason. So he look for those opportunities to do that. But that adventurous spirit, yes, yes,
Yes. Yeah.
yes, yes. That's just like Brian. He's the same way.
One other thing is, um, there was never a stranger around if Vladik was around us. I mean, from the beginning when we were in Russia,
Yeah.
And we were at a train station and we weren't exactly sure where to go. My husband had kind of learned how to read Russian, but not speak it. And so we were at this point of standing still. Well, he didn't want to stand still. And he was pulling this way and that way. And we're trying to say, no, you got to stay here. I mean, the place was packed with people. And along came a woman with her, we found out later, 16-year-old son, and he spoke English. She stopped, looked at her son, and said, "What's going on?" And he asked us, and we told, and then back to his mom, and she looked at my son and just admonished him with a finger wagging that you are so blessed to go to America. And not everybody gets this. This doesn't
Mm.
happen to everybody. This is just a wonder. And then she turned to us and she says, "Come on over to my apartment and have some coffee and cookies and all." And so they weren't strangers. We weren't strangers. We met. Then that's the way it was. Through a market. Another man he was kind of acting up, but this man could see that it wasn't acting up. It was just him being boyish, and he was right there to go with him and like encourage his curiosity and stuff. And so all of that was already in him, and then it just exploded as the years went on.
Yes, yes, yes. Those are the things to remember.
Mhm.
Anybody have any comments in the chat that anybody have any questions or anybody want to have some more comments? I'm trying to put everybody up as much as I can. I do see Susan. Thanks so much being here. Felicia Pruitt, thank you so much for being here as well. ET, thanks so much. We should paint stones for Daniel. Place a gigantic one at mile marker where he went missing. We have some things coming up, so look out for that. ET, look out for that. I have something coming up that I want hopefully can announce by the spring. So look out for that. Also, Tracy, thanks so much for being here. PM Channel, thanks so much for moderating and being here. I truly appreciate it. And everything you have been doing from day one, being constantly support for everything I have been doing. I think I have a question here for us. Do you connect? Do you see the contact I texted you about Cajun Navy? I don't think so, but I would check. It depends on where you sent it. So,
I
because
just read about them. They're the ones that found the little boy in Oklahoma.
oh, really? Okay. Wow.
Yeah,
Yes.
he went missing and they went out there and within days, I think like a less than a week, 5 days, they found him. He was very frightened, but they just gave him like a hug and reassurance. You're going to be okay. Nobody's going to beat you up for doing this,
That's
and
right. That's right.
it happened to be a runaway thing that I recall. I mean, I just kind of glanced over. There's so much to read every day, to take it in. But I just saw that Cajun. Yeah.
And you know where
Cajun
they're out
Navy.
of?
I
Linda,
think I think Louisiana.
Louisiana. Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
I was wondering. No, I think I heard the name before, but I don't recall any text message that I received about that. I probably have, but I get so many things in a day, so I apologize if I missed. But yes, we tried a lot of. There's a lot of information out there, a lot of organizations out there to help us, and just to find the right one I think is the key. Okay, we have also Cami. Thanks for being here. Yes, it was cool. It was so cool to see you with the monks. Yes,
Mhm.
yes. And I think about that too. If Daniel was with me that day, walk with the monks, I think he would enjoy that one as well. Just the things that they have to say. You'll be surprised to watch them. You probably saw the video where I'm saying high pace. I like to walk fast, but these guys, man, and they keep it steady. And so if you're not a person who's can keep that pace, yeah, you would not make it. But definitely want to continue to highlight our missing loved one stories, highlight the memorable moments about our missing loved ones. I'm trying to think of some more things that I can share with the public when it comes to Daniel's personality. As you already know, Daniel and I always have our conversation of things that we like to talk about. It's been times where um, Daniel kind of forget that he's talking to his dad. And sometimes we have these conversations. I think any parent probably have some of those things they can remember. And sometimes I have to get on and say, hey, wait a minute, you know who you're talking to? You know, I would give anything for those moments again.
Yeah.
So when we kind of think about those moments, even the ones that say, hey, look, you have to correct your child. He's a grown man at this moment, but he's my child. And there's been some moments where I have to, correct them in certain areas. Hey, look, I'm not your friends. And you have to respect me as a parent, but you know what? I would give anything to be able to say that to them again. So sometimes we think about those memories in there and the things that they are, the personality. But one thing I can say for Daniel, he's very respectful
Yeah.
in most occasions. Yes.
I have to say that about Vladek too. There was never any disrespect from Vladek at all. Never. Yeah, he just listened to me, and then he'd take those words and he'd do what I asked him to do. He just did it. Um, yeah, it was a great thing. One time when I was living in Dunedin, as I live in Florida, the West Coast, he was staying with me, and he was doing work for somebody I knew was digging ditches. And he's a hard worker. When it came to like somebody needs that done, I'm going to do it. And he worked. It was the blistering summer.
Oh,
Yeah, it was really hot, and he did it, and he'd come home and he'd just collapse on the couch with his double meat Subway sandwich, and he'd just kind of inhale that, but then he'd be out on the couch not long afterwards. Well, on a day off, though, we took a ride on our bikes, and we went to Tarpon Springs, which is the sponge capital of the United States. And he was fascinated. He'd never been there. We ate at one of the outdoor cafes, and then we went into the Spongerama, and he'd stop at these merchant people and just, he was engaging with each and every one of them. Like, what somebody was selling coins. What about your coins? What about the sponges? What about the shells? It was just fascinating. I'd love to do that again. I wish I did more.
yes, yes, yes. That's amazing. I do have a question though for us. I think it's from Savannah. Oh, I took it back off. Hi, Mr. Robinson. Can we ask a question? Yes, you can about Daniel, like what got him into geology. I'm not sure exactly what caused him to want to get into geology, but he did, kind of look into it when he was in the 12th grade. And he didn't really make a decision about it until his freshman year in college. He took a class. I think it's one of the elective type deals, and he fell in love with it. It has to be something with the outdoorsy type thing, because like I said, from Daniel's nature, everything's outdoorsy. I mean, Arizona is just is that state for him, for instance, because he can be outdoorsy and doing hikings and things like that. So I wonder, with the science of the not knowing understanding geology fully from my standpoint, but the science of not knowing where rocks come from, what part of the earth, where they come from outside of the earth, those type things. I think it just fascinated him. He even had a rock collection, so I know they had to be the rocks that fascinated him. Arizona has a lot of those, and so he was at home in Arizona, for instance. So I believe just the science that got him into geology. We do have one more for both of us. Did anyone of your boys have a girlfriend? I'd let you go first on this one.
Oh, let's see. Well, he really didn't get interested in girls right away, like a lot of kids do in junior high. He wasn't doing that. He was sports, soccer, baseball, football. He did all that. Wasn't girls. But when he went to live with his sister prior to going into the Marines, and that was out in Texas, I think Arlington. He worked at SeaWorld, and I think that's where he ran across the girl. And so things got a little close there. But other than that, once he got back with and was living with his dad and came out of the Marines, there wasn't a girl that we knew of. Now, I'm hesitating because it's just now coming back to me that somebody contacted Bethany. I think it's been a year now, and this person was a friend of Vladek's in Michigan, and he just happened to look like for Vladek online and saw that he was missing, and he was really shocked and horrified. And he got in touch with Bethany and said there was a girl that he was trying to befriend at one time, and like they had been like homeless with her and her mother, and he tried to befriend them, and he wasn't sure if Vladek would have followed her anywhere. We don't know, but he said that's when I heard that Vladek was missing, I wondered, did he do something like that? Then that was the first we'd heard of it, and there was nowhere to follow up.
Right, right.
And
Well,
we don't think that's feasible because he was so close to us. We don't think he would have just left, and so close to his dad. He cared for his dad and did things for him to make sure his dad was already in a depressed kind of mood. He was coming out of his marriage that had failed. And so Vladek was trying so hard to, let's go out to dinner, Dad. Let's go here. Let's go there. So, and then at the end of the day, Steve has told me he used to say, Dad, I love you so much. And they both did that. They'd hold each other's hands and pray together. So it just doesn't sound like something he would do.
yes, right, right. Yes, well, Daniel, to answer that question as well, I haven't seen Daniel with a girlfriend. He haven't ever expressed that he had a girlfriend, growing up. One thing I can say though, he's been around a lot, a lot of in the college, so he have an interest in females, I could say in that sense, but never, as far as I know, no, I don't know of any girlfriends. So I can't say that about Daniel. He has been a lot into his schoolwork and a lot into his friendships with friends and things like that. He was, if I would say was, he is a person who, again, like to be around his friends. So, as far as I know, as in having a single person, female wise, I'm not sure. I do know he hang out with his friends a lot. That's all I can say. I'll say. I'll see if I have any more questions. But other than that, I think we're kind of getting down to the end of everything. So I just want to say really quick again to reiterate, I really appreciate everyone who's joined in with me tonight. Today, as always, is always a hard time, very hard time to come around with birthdays. And you can share those with me as well. Cheryl, you can also share this. Birthdays, holidays, no matter what your beliefs are when it comes to holidays, they are here. Most holidays that we have are days off from work. It gives us opportunity to be there with family members,
That's it.
regardless.
They were the times that family got together,
Right,
and Vladek was a part of that.
right.
And now this is 5 holidays without him because he disappeared before the holiday, just like your son, 5 holidays without them. 4 years, but 5 holidays.
That's right. And
Mhm.
that's rough every time. Every time it's rough. You try to find ways to hopefully make it better, but it never gets easy. So I just want to say really quick. Oh, do I have one person come on as well? A cousin of mine just she put a smile on my face. So I'm gonna let her in really quick here. But I want to say again, I really appreciate everyone who's joined in tonight. Like I said, it just make it a lot easier when you have the support people joining in. I read the comments. Cheryl, you can agree with that. It makes things a lot easier when you have people that are really supporting. So I'm gonna bring my cousin on really
Yes.
quick here. I really appreciate her coming in. It's a bit surprise for me, so I'm really appreciate it. And without further ado, Quanda, thank you so much.
Hi,
I love
David. How
you.
you doing?
I'm doing well, doing well. Thank you so
Hi,
much.
everyone.
Hi.
Yeah, you put a big smile on my face. I saw it when I was to
Uh-oh.
somebody else showing love too as well. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. It's family, so I want to chip in and do whatever I can do to support you and Daniel. God is with him.
Yes, thank you. I truly appreciate it. Yeah, we're not gonna give up. You already know your mom. She's a prayer warrior, like I said earlier.
Yes.
And yeah, we pray all the time. She's definitely supportive. You know how your mother is. And
Yes.
we're praying all the time, and we do have that faith. And we already know that faith comes with action. So you can't just
Exactly.
have faith. You got to also put the action behind your faith to get
Hmm.
things done. Sometimes people
Yes.
say, "Well, why it taking so long?" God have his time. The way I like to look at it is none of this would be possible meaning that Daniel would have been found a long time ago. When I first had my mind set and made it to Arizona, I would have found him that day. Of course, I'm not saying I wouldn't have been an advocate, but I don't think it would have been at this extent. Sometimes great things come out of tragedies, and sad as it may sound, but we have those, and that's what I'm saying. I really feel that the length of time that Daniel is gone, I really believe that in my heart, I'm going to find my son alive. I'm going to find him well. But in the meantime, what caused it caused some other things to come in place where we can say, the blessings are there as well. So I really appreciate those things that I can always talk to Daniel about later on. This will happen. We have the Daniel Robinson Law, for instance. We have this, we have that. And, it's all because of what happened, And so sometimes, like I said, great things can come out of treasure. But thank you so much, cuz that really put some joy to my heart. This has been a
Oh, you're
very rough
welcome.
day. Yeah, it's been very rough.
Oh no, absolutely. It's been rough
Yeah,
for I'm sure everyone, and
yeah.
definitely was devastating when it first happened, and it still is because it's like we don't have those questions answered yet,
Mhm.
and in God's timing, like you said, God, things is for a season, and we just have to be patient with a lot of things, not just tragedies, but a lot of things in our life. We just have to wait on God's term. We can't
That's right.
rush Him. We can't, question Him, of course, and we just have to wait and be patient.
That's right. That's right. And
Yeah,
yes, we definitely have to do that. I, try to do that. Do that every day. Just keep on. Like I said with the months, I'm going to repeat that. Today is my peaceful day. Try to keep the most of peace as you can. Find ways to encourage yourself, and just keep going. Keep going. And I
absolutely.
say that to you as well, Miss Cheryl.
Mhm.
Just keep going.
That's
Keep
right.
going.
Just
Yes.
keep going.
I mean, that's what your loved ones will want to, if they're still here or if they with God, that's what they want you to do. They want you to
That's
keep
right.
going. They want you to keep fighting, not fighting just for them, but fighting for others. And that's what you guys are doing. Then, David, that's what you're doing. And that's, what God planned for you to do. So, you're fighting for other families, you're helping other families. And we appreciate that. So I think you just keep up the good work and don't give up.
Yes. Thank you.
Sorry,
Thank
Oh,
you.
that's okay. That's okay.
my
That's okay.
daughter's cooking and I think she's burning something. So
That sounds like something I'll do if I get in that kitchen. Burn something.
yeah, yeah, she's trying. She's my sweetheart now.
Yes, yes. So give my love to everyone, Kwanda. I really appreciate it.
Sure,
You know,
absolutely, absolutely.
yeah.
Now, who do you have on here with you? I'm sorry, I just
Barry, she's my Barry. You want to say something, but I tell you she does a lot. I'll just put it that way. She's my
okay,
second family member. She's might as well call her our family member. She's been there since Daniel been missing. Like I
okay,
said, out there in the desert with us, being out in the city searches to she's been Daniel Robinson Foundation to the A team. I just keep going on and on, but definitely a very close friend. So
okay.
really, really love her to
Nice
death.
to meet
And
you.
yes, yes.
Nice to meet you too, the Robinson family.
Mhm.
And also we have Miss Cheryl. She's here to talk about her son who went missing, and we definitely grateful to have her here to talk about some of those things that are really memorable for her. At the same time, giving us information how we can help her loved one.
Okay. Nice to meet you as well.
To meet
Sorry
you
for your
too.
loss.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
went missing in November of the same year that Daniel went missing.
Oh,
Mhm.
wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's kind of that I didn't know about Daniel in the beginning, but as soon as Vlad went missing, then there was Daniel right alongside. So I've been following what's been happening for the
right.
search for Daniel. You know,
Oh, wow. Okay. Now, are you in the same area with
I live in
David or Daniel?
I live in Florida, and
Okay.
Vlad he disappeared from Orlando, and he was out serving and finding the homeless community. He wanted to help them. So now we collect
Mm,
items for the homeless people, like the community, a couple times a year. summer
Okay.
summer things that they need and winter things that they need, and we give it to a shelter there where around the area that Vladik would go. So
Oh wow.
that's
Okay, that's beautiful. That's
that's our
beautiful.
busyness. Yeah. Besides for going around and letting the nation know that there's a network of people looking for their loved ones and so many people that want to jump on board and help us.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right. That's right. And that's what we have to do. You know, that sound like he has a great spirit. You know, to be able to do that. Like you said, the homeless community knew who he is, and you know, just you know, I guess have some great things to say. That just tell you the spirit and the person that he is.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. You
Mhm.
definitely have that's what I call a golden heart. I too would get involved with like feeding the homeless, giving them clothing, do a nonprofit that I'm a part of. And the person who's over it, I call her the golden heart because that's her like that's what she lived for, serving others. And so sound like that's what he was.
It
And you
really,
know,
it
that's
truly was.
beautiful.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah,
Yeah.
you. That's a nice way to think of it. Thank you.
that's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Definitely. I have a few more people though. Who were if I can get this right, I think I lost track of what I was at right here, but um, sent a post about on X about celebrating celebrities, 50 Cent, Floyd Mayweather, Tyler Perry, and others try to get celebrities to assist a veteran. Um, Oh, that's a financial goal. Okay, this is something different. I must have read that incorrectly, but I thought it was some tips that we can utilize to help us with our missing loved ones. So we get those in the chats. We get those. Please, everyone, please, you know, help us get all the information we can because we have things like Tested Equisearch, who some families can benefit from. Unfortunately, for Daniel, we was unable to get that for other reasons, but definitely there's some resources out there for families. So we want to take advantage of that. Also, again, don't forget the families that we shared tonight because that's important. Sharing is caring. You know, like I said tonight, for instance, I try to reach out to everybody I can. I was hoping I had many more families on tonight. That was my goal. I really wanted a lot of families. But Miss Cheryl, you're great enough. But the biggest platform that you have, whether it's large, small, it's our job and our duty to try to do everything we can to share at least one person's story, because that's all it takes. If somebody hear what's going on, somebody get that message, that one person can make a big difference. That one person hearing the story may know something and may have that one little clue that bring our missing loved one home. So
Right.
this
So
things like this is very
every
important.
share is important. Yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
Absolutely.
Very, very important. And let's see. I think I don't have any more here. I did share the link for anybody who want to come on really quick before
I
we
had a
end.
question, David.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
sure.
I wanted to hear both of your most memorable birthdays with your sons.
Yes.
Well, that's
I'll
a
let
great
you.
question.
You
Yeah, I'll
get
let
to
you
go
go first.
first. Your turn to go first.
Oh, you want me to go first?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, my most memorable moments with Dame, his birthday, this well before college, so it was when he was younger. Just to see him, well, I guess it's really young. Just to see him enjoy his first big birthday cake because of the way he was looking at the candle. There's one candle sitting there, and the way his eyes was fixated on on the candle. I think that was the most memorable because you know, just to we tell him to blow it out, and he didn't want to blow it out because he wanted to just look at that candle, trying to figure. I guess for the way I take it, you know, being a science person, trying to see well, how's this possible? So it's that most memorable for me would be that moment, watching his eyes, the way he looked at the candle as it burned, and we say, blow it out. You had to blow it, trying to show him how to do it, and he wouldn't do it at
Oh,
the moment. He
that's
just wanted to
cute.
look at. So, and then
Mhm.
at a moment too that as a parent, you kind of watch him because his hand also curious and want to grab it. So, so
Right.
that's the
Right.
most memorable. Yes.
Mhm. Well, ours was our first birthday party with him. He was 6 years old, following the adoption, and we did it at Pizza Hut. So pizza and cake, and he'd never been around having friends and gifts. He was just bouncing everywhere. He didn't, I don't think he had a bite of pizza or cake. He was just too busy, and the smile on his face and the joy. Yeah, I'll never forget that day. It was wonderful.
Yes, yes. And I'm asking everybody in the chats if you have any birthday questions like Barry, she did just a while ago. Um, you have those birthday questions. That'll be a very good way to talk about some of those things. Also, just some of those memories. I see here from such sweet memories here. He was fascinated. Some heart faces there. Yes, those are fun ages when we talk about some of those. I think you see already when parents, the first thing we go to is when they were younger, right? The most memorable because I don't think we'll say, hey, when he was 20 years old or he was 18 years old. Those are the most memorable because a lot of times when they have birthdays, those age, especially when they graduate from high school, you probably won't be a part of the birthday like
Exactly.
that.
That's what I was
Pretty much
thinking.
saying, right? We're just pretty
Yes.
much saying,
They on their own. They with
yeah,
their
yeah, pretty much.
friends hanging
With
out.
the parents, right. So yes, the parents, that's good for us. All right. I thank you so much again, everyone. You can probably see I'm struggling right here tonight. I'm very much struggling trying to keep this going. But I just want to say again, heartfelt, thank you so much for everyone for being here with me, being here for Miss Cheryl
Oh,
to support us while we're going through this. At this moments. Like I said again, Dane's birthday is everybody's birthday. I like to call him America's son. I said as many other times before because what happened to my family, don't just happen to our family. It happens to a lot of families. We have again 600,000 that go missing every year. So someone today is missing their
yeah.
loved one,
You know
and
what?
they're going
I
through.
want to interrupt a minute. It's like when I
Yeah.
grew up, you didn't hear about things like this. And I remember picking up one of those Reader's Digest story books, and I read about somebody that was, I think, 5 or 6 that went missing. I was horrified. It was like, I think I was 10 or 11 years old, and I was reading that. I had no idea that a child could be taken from their family and go missing. Was trauma to me. And then now to be living it is even like worse. But I mean, it just didn't seem to happen so much back then. Like we in Florida had Adam Walsh
Mhm.
disappear in 1981, I think it was. And
Yes. Yeah.
that was just, I had a little one at that time, a year old little girl, and she used to try to hide in Montgomery wards underneath the clothes racks. And I tried to keep my eyes on her, but then I tried to look for something I was shopping for, and just for a glance, and then look back and
Mhm.
she's gone. And
Yeah. Scary.
I was with my mom, and I'm telling you, this was just after the thing with Adam. And she had gotten out of the store and walked up the sidewalk on the just that quick. That quick. I mean, it was you don't mean to do anything wrong. Things just happen so quickly. But I was blessed. I got my daughter. I mean, I think I was shaken quite a bit for some time and watching the news with that I was blessed. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right. I have one question here, but I want to kind of back with that as well. I would have never known all the stuff was going on. We'll see back when this is gonna tell my age a little bit. So back we see people on milk cartons, right? Some people I'm sure will say,
Right.
what is a milk carton?
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
we see people missing and things like that when I was younger. As I was getting older, becoming an adult, like you said, it was less and less that I heard about. I did hear about John Wash, his son. Sometimes you get a hit and miss, but when it hits home, you learn a lot more too. Those things become apparent. It's almost like when someone get a new car, and you have never seen those cars out in the street until that person got that car. Now you see a whole bunch of them. It's
Yeah.
Mhm.
that type feel in the sense. I was made aware of how many people go missing in our country. So
Right.
once that happened,
It
you can't
it
help
even
but
hit
see it
it
online.
hit Vladek because just 2 months before Vladek went missing is
Hmm.
when Gabby Petito disappeared. And Vladek saw that and watched that with his sister, and he was horrified when
Hmm.
hearing about that, and here we never dreamed that we'd be in the same place, sort of, where Nikki always comes alongside us and says, you guys have it harder because I had the answer within a short period of time and you don't have the answer. And who's to say what's harder? It's hard to lose a child, no matter
Hmm.
how you lose a child.
Right. Exactly.
That's right. That's right.
And no matter how old they are, and I think that's one thing that the sheriffs did wrong. They assumed, oh, he's 22, he's going to be 23. Oh, he wanted to go off on his own. We knew
Mm.
him. We knew that was not his way to
His
just
Right.
character,
do it.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they just kind of shrugged it like, we were overbearing parents.
Well, that's one of the things I would like to tell families, and especially those who are listening right now. There's no policy, first of all, in any police department that will tell a family they have to wait 1 minute. You have departments tell a family they have to wait because they play a family member. And, we're family members. We do our due diligence. I'm sure, Ms. Cheryl, you can vouch for this. We don't just automatically say our loved one is missing. We go through all the proper channels first. We call friends, families. We go to the usual places. I mean, we do everything we can before we say, hey, something is not right. Like you said, there's a thing called patterns. They're breaking patterns to you
Absolutely.
name it. And, those things are already been explored. So by the time you call in to law enforcement, you have all those answers, those boxes checked. And so what I say to that, when just like Daniel's case, the same thing, Ms. Cheryl, is that they say, hey, he's a grown man, he want to disappear, he can. Daniel didn't tell him that. So those kind of things you have to, if you have a missing loved one, to be aware of. Law enforcement, it's not their job to question,
Right.
a family, when they say, hey, my loved one is missing. Their job is to act upon that report. So that's what we want to leave with that one. Also,
Okay.
we have a question here real quick from for both of us, Dave and Cheryl. What would you say to your child right now to let them know you are thinking of them? So Cheryl, it's your turn.
Well, I do a lot of Facebook posts. That's my media. I just haven't gotten into much of Instagram, but I will make a post. I've done it since he went missing with his picture on it, with my words on it. I think I made one just a few months ago by his birthday, and it said, Vladek was saying to me, if I go missing, would you come looking for me? And then I said, always and forever. And he said, would you stop? And I said, never. And so I do things like that. I put that out on Facebook, pictures of him with things that I create with a picture, with something, that's catchy. So, and that's what it is. It's always, I'm here. I love you. Come home.
That's all right. That's so nice. I really appreciate that. Yes, it's the same thing here. I think over the last wow, it's going on 5 years in June. But if I can have a message for Daniel right now, it'll be the same thing. I've been trying my best to fight for him. So I'm always thinking about him. I just need him to know that for me personally, I'm always thinking about him. It's a parent to see it in my actions than just my words. I really try to do everything I can to, if he's out there, to get that message to him. So right now, if I was to say that, what would I say to Daniel right at this moment to let him know I'm thinking about him is to just watch me and see. I'm thinking about you all the time. I'm thinking about him every day, every day of my life. And the reason why I say it is that since he went missing, I think about him every day is because every day is something I'm doing to try to help him. And then when I help other families as well, or try to help other families, he's always in mind. So I'm always thinking about Daniel. He's part of everything I'm doing right now, from advocacy to I don't want to throw everything out there, but everybody know what I'm doing. So everything has Daniel's name on it. Even trying to go up to Washington. I could put it that way. Has Daniel's name on it. So I'm always thinking about him.
Yes. Mhm.
So thank you so much for that question. I think that was PM channel.
I had a question, David, for both of you,
Yeah,
both of you guys. If they were here and you were celebrating their birthday, what will be the one gift that you would give them?
that's a good one.
Oh boy, these
You want
are
to go first, Cheryl?
toughies. Yes.
That's a good one.
Mm.
You want to go first?
You go ahead. I'm thinking.
Well, Daniel, I would rewind back. I would rewind everything back. In July of 2021, the same month that Daniel's Jeep was found, we already had plans for me to come up to Arizona. His sister was coming out of California. We all were meeting in Phoenix to enjoy ourselves. I could see his Jeep for the first time. But one of the things I would do is to celebrate his birthday is to beat him on top of. He wanted to hike, and I laughed because we had this big conversation about it. He's a grown man now. I'm grown. I'm stronger now, and I can beat you on this hiking trail. Some hiking trail he had. I don't know which one he's talking about, but I would go right now, challenge him on that hiking trail. That's what we'll do for his birthday. Hey, where you want to go to Sedona and do this? Let's go. And that'll be exactly what it would be.
Okay.
And
Right.
like you say, I think if whatever Vladik would say, let's do this for my birthday, there'd be no question. That's what we do. The first birthday he was back, But like I said, the bike ride, that was so memorable that if I could do that one again to celebrate, but have the family together, a big celebration. And I think that's what he'd like. He loved his family. So having family, friends come for his birthday, surprise him. He'd probably get a real kick out of having a surprise party. That's what I do.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I like that. I have let me see if any more I have there. Let's see. I have a comment. Danny has become a part of what I'm doing as well. And thank you so much for saying that. I think he has a big impact on a lot of people right now. Daniel, I was really, when the question was asked earlier, what made him want to go into geology, I can ask the same question with his siblings, all science majors, um, archaeology, marine biology, and a computer engineer. But the thing is, when it comes to Daniel as a whole, saying some of the things that he impacted on with people. I've said this before. He brings people together. I know he do that for our family, Kwanda. He does it for the family. It's been times where, when I say family, especially my immediate side, Kwanda, we have some things that could possibly, kind of have some little small divisions. And Daniel's a person who kind of bridged that gap in that. I have seen Daniel with his friends, the way they congregate around him, and also when he went missing. It's so unexpected when you see hundreds of people. For instance, could you imagine coming out for 50 weeks straight? Out there in the desert. I mean, and that's not including the weekly searches. That's just the searches that we put out, we state publicly. There's also city searches as well that we don't talk about all the time. But what I'm saying is, it always brought people together. I've seen people from all walks of life, so he impacted people. He impacted a lot of people. His disappearance brought a lot of people together. I've seen people become friends. Barry, you can say the same thing with Shauna, who you all met at the search, and now we're all friends. So I think the impact was really great. I see you have your baby there.
Yes. He's wanting my attention now. Enough of this,
Yes,
Mom.
yes, I
Remember,
have
there's
that.
me.
Right, right. I have mine. I'm sure he's right there at the office door, just waiting on me to open the door. So yeah, he does the same thing. Yes. And what about you, Cheryl?
What's that? What's the question?
The impact. The impact. Is there like you think is the impact there?
I don't think Vladek thought that he meant so much to people. Like, first of all, the homeless population, I don't think he realized they really loved him and cared about him. And now, like you said, all these people that are searching for him, I don't think he thought that, what's the big deal? Who am I? That people would take their time, the precious moments of their lives, and come searching for me. I don't think he realizes, that everybody has their value, everybody has their worth, and there's people in this world that understand that, and they're
That's
willing
right.
to come alongside you, and make it not such a heavy burden alone.
That's right. And I agree with that because we have a whole crowd of people in the chats that feel the same way. They're here for that reason. We have you all on the panel as well for that reason. There's an impact. To bring people closer. Bring some support. So yes, definitely that. And like you say, we all don't realize it at times, but it's there.
Yeah. And just want people that do that as advocacies, that word that I didn't even know existed 4 years ago, that it's priceless.
That's
There's
right.
just priceless. When this first happened and my world fell in on me, and I'm trying to work, and I go home and I just cry and try to sleep and work. And then Bethany started exploring, and people were coming to Bethany and, Mom, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I'm going to make this flyer. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go there. And just took off. And now she has a podcast she does for Vladik on Tuesday nights. Most of the time I'm asleep. By this time, I'm usually asleep. But she wore herself out. She burned the candle at both ends and went and went. And she finally slowed down this past year and got married in April, but she was holding off. She wanted Vladik found and Vladik to be at that wedding. That she was standing firm on that. And finally, I think I kind of pushed her a little bit, and I said, you can have another celebration when he's here. And they got married, and that's the best thing. She was with this person she fell in love with, like, for 3 or 4 years, but he was sharing all this with her and all this stress, and they just needed to be really close and pulled together as a couple. So
That's
it's
right.
it's been a blessing for her to go ahead and do that, but she hasn't given up hope one bit. No. Now, I have to say, like Steve, he asked the detective last week, he said, after 4 years, like, what's the percentage? He's a number guy. What's a percentage that he could be, you know, like, not here with us anymore? And Steve was trying to get that number from him because he's a number guy. And finally, he gave the guy a number, and it was in the high 90s. And he shook his head that, yes, there's a high likelihood he's not with us. And I think my
Mhm.
husband, my former husband, needs that more finality because he knew where Vladik was, loves the Lord, and that if he wasn't here on this earth, he'd be in the presence of the Lord. So that gives him a little more peace. But and he just fell into such deep depression because he was so close to Vladik. I was living away, so I felt it, but nothing like Steve felt. And the absence, the moment by moment absence that he went through. Um, so it just, yeah, I don't know what more to say.
Yes. Yes. Definitely. Yeah, I know that's really hard. A lot to talk about. I just want one more thing, Ms. Cheryl, if you don't mind. Give us again how we can help bring him home. Bladik, how you say it, Bladik?
It's Vladik with a V, like in
Bladik.
victory, Vladik.
Yeah, Bladik. Okay,
So
Bladik. How we can bring Bladik home. Want to share that with everyone here tonight. and you can give us a little information. I see it here on the flyer, but we
Yes,
definitely want to
there's
hear more.
okay. It actually says at the bottom of the flyer that if you have any information on his whereabouts, contact the Orange County Sheriff's Office, Missing Persons Unit, and they have the number 407-254-7000, or you could call 911 with the case number, and they have the case number, hashtag 21/83864. And then my daughter's been so good to figure out how to put all that information on those QR codes. And that's a
Yeah,
timeline of Vladek's life, and then also his contacts on getting into Facebook and all, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, all of that. She's published it everywhere.
that's wonderful. Yes, and that's one thing as well. I want to say, social media, websites, anything we can to get information out about our missing loved one is important. One thing I have found in Daniel's case is to, sad as it may sound, humanize your loved ones, because a lot of times people, when they don't hear certain things like what we're talking about tonight, the humanity of the person, their love and things like that. Sometimes people will not kind of won't stick with that story. So I found it very helpful, a very good tool to have the social media platform where people can go ahead and get information. The website that's dedicated to your missing loved one, as well as doing everything you can verbally, getting out flyers, all the normal stuff. But definitely those things. So hats off to your daughter for doing that, because that's very important, getting information
It
out there.
really is. And she did it right away. She just started learning and she kept going and going, and the Lord provided people to educate her, and she didn't have the confidence. I mean, I homeschooled my kids. We did 4-H speeches. And I remember trying to get my two daughters up to do speeches when they were like 8, 9 years old. That was the last thing they wanted to do. But here it prepared Bethany enough that she took that step and another step, and she's been the reason that Vladek's name is known throughout the country.
There you go. That's right. And I thank her for that. I
And
appreciate her.
now, because I stumbled on your little um, offer to join you, this is my first time I've done this. And so thank you for the challenge and for offering this time to me. Thank you. And we
You're
do
definitely
continue
welcome.
to keep Daniel in our prayers, and you and your family.
Yeah, it's always gonna be that first time, Cheryl. I can tell you that. I'm a person before Daniel went missing. Of course, you take public speaking and all that in college, but when it comes to actually speaking in front of a lot of people and doing things like this, I found it very hard as well.
Yeah.
But once you do it that one time, you do it again, and then it become natural to you in certain aspects. But the way I was able to do it is to, like we talked about tonight, um, think about a loved one, do it for that person.
Yeah.
And so you did it tonight. You did very well. I really appreciate you being here and taking that chance and, with me and getting the story out. So I really appreciate your time.
I think at first it was just too raw. There was just too much. I didn't know how to express myself. Bethany would line up, somebody wants to talk to you, they're going to call you. And I'm like, I can't even put it into words. And I just was crying. I couldn't do it.
Right.
So it's taken this long. The grief is there, but it's a different way that I handle it or walk with it. Yeah, it's just time that I can start trying to do it. I've been, like I said, I've been a nurse for 47 years, and I love people and I'm with people one on one or one on two, but never like large groups.
Yes. Yeah, same here. Same here. Definitely, yes. But you did very well tonight, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
And you too, your platform is wonderful, and be praying for you as you move forward and you're going to get your place up there in Washington, and be moving, shaking and moving people. Be
That's
wonderful.
right. That's right. Thank you so much. And Kwanda, if you could do me a favor,
Yes.
you know what I'm about to ask. Can you read your mother's comment?
Oh, oh, David, where is the comment at? I'm so sorry. My glasses. Oh, okay, I can see
Oh,
it
no,
now.
no, no, no.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. It says, David and Cheryl, draw closer to the Lord as he will comfort you and give you peace during your grief moments. Praying for you all missing people around the world.
Thank you so much.
Amen.
Thank you,
Amen.
Auntie.
Thank you. Thank you.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And thank you again, everyone, for joining in tonight. I think we're going to go ahead and end it here. Again, I want to say, just from the Robinson family, and also from Daniel, who would definitely agree with this. We love you all. We can literally say we love you because anytime people lend their time, their moments, your days, your heart, your prayers. People who've been out on the search with me, those who could not even come on tonight. I appreciate everything about you. This gave me as a moment to reflect. Our difficult time. Cheryl and I have a very difficult time without missing a loved one, not having those answers, those closures that we need. Just worrying about our babies, and just to have you all here tonight to join in with us in support. I see 124 people still hanging on,
Mhm.
and I really appreciate each and every last one of you for
I
just
think the
spending.
hardest thing I've had said to me was, when are you going to be done
Mm,
searching?
mm,
And I look at that person. Sometimes it's a person that doesn't have a child. So then I think, well, consider the source. But then it's just like, you really don't know until you're in my shoes what it's like. And
that's right.
that's a question I wouldn't say you should say to anybody that's going through it. I just walk alongside where they are and give them a hug, keep hugging them. That's what they need.
That's right. That's right. Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. Go ahead, Quanda. I'm sorry.
No, I was just agreeing with her. I mean, whether your child is lost or your child may have passed on. I had a friend who just lost her son.
Mm,
And the first thing a lot of people do say, "Oh, I'm sorry for your loss," and they may say some things that you like. Well, that doesn't work for me because I don't understand. I would never say I'm sorry for your loss and I understand what you're going through because I
right.
don't. I can't say those things, but a lot of people do quick to say certain statements to you and don't realize that you may not been in my shoes or you may not have witnesses or been a part of something like this, so why would you even say that to me? So people try their best, and you
Yeah,
have to give them grace, and then it's a teachable moment. Sometimes
It is.
some people will find out later that what they said was not properly appropriate, but it's all love. It's all love.
that's right.
That's right.
Thank you.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely. With loved ones, you have to be careful because we don't have that closure. We don't have that closure, so some things
Right.
can rub us with a harder grain than other things. So yeah, you're right. You're right, Quanda. Yeah. Even with Miss Cheryl, I understand, but I don't understand like in certain areas, but definitely understand of having a missing loved one. But there's some other parts that she may experience that I don't experience when it comes to the same situation. So you're right, definitely right about that. But
They're
thank you,
unique
everybody.
people. Unique
Oh, good.
people. Daniel and Vladik, both very unique.
That's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I want to say thank you again, everyone, for being a part of this event. It's been, one of those hard times for both of us, like I said, Miss Cheryl. But we made it through. This is a something that we're not going to just stop here. We need all your support. We need you to share these stories. One thing for sure when it comes to, and I learned this, we have missing loved ones. With your support comes answers. And the reason why those answers come because you keep law enforcement busy.
Yeah.
Anytime we have people kind of fall away, what happens is a lot of times law enforcement, with all the things they have on their plate, will take that case and put it in a corner somewhere and pick
Mhm.
it up whenever they can. So if you keep it in the forefront by sharing stories, they keep them busy. They keep them on the job, and
Yeah.
so we need people. We're depending on you again. So tonight, find a missing loved one story, not just my story, not just my son's story, not just Cheryl's son's story, but every family that you can find out there, because I promise you, you are the key.
Yeah.
You see what I said on for Daniel. When the lights and the cameras turn off, I'm going to be there. When the interest fade, I'm going to be there. Those things are very true, because when we look at social media, or when we look at the mainstream media, we look at even the local news. They sell stories, and then after a while, that story get old. Then they're looking for something else. They have other stories to tell, or it's not getting enough ratings, or whatever the case may be. Then we're dependent on people like you, who's on social media, because word of mouth is the biggest information exchange than anything. So if you're telling someone about our stories, you're sharing someone else's story, it gets around a lot faster than any news organization could do. I've been on my son's story, been on the national stage. I go out to Arizona tomorrow, and Barry, she can tell you as well. Out there, and you talk about Daniel's story, they never heard of it. But yet I spent 50 weeks out there in the desert making all that noise, where the chief of police was saying, hey, you're making a lot of noise in the street, but you have people that live there all their life and never heard of Daniel's story. So we have room to share. Always share the story. Always share the story. So if somebody say, hey, why you still getting out flyers? Why you still doing this? Why you still caring? First of all, like you said, Michelle, is our loved one, is our child. We don't have a time limit. The second part is, when you're giving out these flyers, getting out information, there's always one person who just don't know. This is a
And
big country.
what I'm thinking of too is we are part of the network. I don't even know when it started being created about finding missing people, but there's new ones every day that join this horrible network of people in this situation, and they don't know what we've come to know over 4 years. And it was hard for us when we started trying to figure it out and find our way and our steps, but now we can share, and they've got somebody to draw on, a lot of people that are in place to be advocates to draw from, rather than just the sheriff department, because the sheriff department, they will drop the ball. And I said to those detectives last week, I said, I want you to know I'm not just speaking for Vladeck, I'm speaking for tomorrow's missing person, and the next and the next. This isn't going to stop. There's more and more. And you have to, talk to the detectives and tell them this is the way a family is thinking. So I hope it went somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. Thank you. Thank you again. Anybody else have anything? Well, I want to end this tonight with a prayer. If you all can join in with me on this prayer. And again, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's listening. We're up to 135. And so, but we definitely ending here. I'm sure all of us need to get some rest, but I truly appreciate you, Miss. Hold on, did I lose anybody? Everybody still here?
Still here.
Everybody went off my
Yes,
screen.
I'm still here. I'm sorry.
I lost my screen. I apologize. Let's see.
Still here.
I don't know what happened. But okay, there we go. Okay. Yes, thank you, Ms. Cheryl, for being here again and sharing your son's story. But I want to end this in prayer. So if everybody can join in with me on the prayer, and then from that point, we'll end the live stream. So thank you so much.
You are my shelter from the storm. You keep me safe inside your wings. You are my comfort when life gets hard. You lead me to water to drink. And now I trust your gentle hand, even when I can't understand.
Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, again. We come before you with thanksgiving, praise. We thank you for this day, January the 14th, 29th birthday of my son, Daniel Robinson. We thank you for this opportunity to celebrate, his life, everything that he is as a person. By doing so, also celebrating all our missing loved ones across this country. Ms. Hassel and her son, Mr. Hassel, who is missing, her family, their family, who joined us tonight. And we join in solidarity together in unity, come before you, Lord, and ask you for strength, guidance. We ask you for answers because we know you have those answers that we're seeking. But in the meantime, we are grateful for all the things that comes out of our tragedy that you make perfect and make whole. So we thank you, Heavenly Father, for this opportunity. We thank you for those who are actually here tonight to celebrate with us, to support us, to be there with us, to show love to us. We thank you, Heavenly Father. We give you all the praise and glory. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you, everyone, again. God bless
Amen.
you. Thank you so much. God bless you all, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Bye.
Take care.
You too.